when our electricity lights are off, we do go every discipline is broken. So deterrent is necessary. If I do relate my own experience as a former jail inmate in Delhi's Tihar jail, I can see that this jail actually is run by these convicts. They are the ones who actually administer jail from inside. They are the ones who, through actually the jail administration, runs the jail. And when we see their conduct, when you see these people who are inside the jails for 14 years, 18 years, 20 years, the conduct they have, the way they behave with this under trials, the way they impose themselves, so it becomes all the most necessary that there has to be some kind of an accountability and some kind of deterrent on them, because they are inside the jails. What else you can do to them? I remember that in my days, the in charge of the jail langar, he used to be a person who was there in the multiple murder cases. And inside jail also, he had spent almost 10-12 years inside jail. And inside jail also he had few cases of attempt murder and a case of murder also, which he had done inside jail. Now, it was every day the system in the jail is that in a barrack you pick up the people who go to the langar and bring food for that barrack to 40, 50 or 60 prisoners. 5-6 people are chosen. Every day it's a routine. So the persons whose turn used to be at that day to go to the langar and get food for other prisoners, it was a day of judgment for those people, because it was quite sure that one of them, when he will return with a fractured arm or a fractured leg, because this Dino Nambardar is there, he will beat one or two people. And he used to take any excuse. Sometimes that bartan जिसमें वो खाना ले आते हैं, sometimes why ये साफ क्यों नहीं है? If they had cleaned it, why there are this water drops inside this? And this is not only the case of this one single person. There has been the cases of many of these convicts who, because the issue is that the greatest characteristic of a human body is the adaptability. It adapts to a situation. When a person, he thinks that he has to now remain the rest of life, he has to remain inside the jail, he makes his thinking the way, he tries to and then he becomes a nuisance inside the jail. So my take on this is that whenever for this campaigning against the death penalty, it has to go through and it has to be accompanied with the jail reforms as well. A person who is inside a jail and after even 14 years he comes out and then does the same crime, so what is the fun of keeping him inside the jail? So there has to be the reformation programs inside the jails and the abolition of the campaign against the death penalty. They have to go side by side. I was not so. I will just confess. I was with this experience. I was not the kind of a person who I thought that the death penalty is an important factor, that it keeps at least these people who are on the death row. These people at least inculcate some kind of fear within them. Because there has been, I see the difference between those people inside the jails who had been awarded the death sentence. They used to be some kind of a mild, some kind of, and they used to think but these people who had been given the life sentences and they knew that they had to just serve the rest of their life inside the jails. They used to be very rude and they used to create a hell for other prisoners, and they're the ones who are the munshis, who are the jail nambardars, who are all these things through whom the jail administration used to spend money, grow money inside the jails. But now, going through our criminal justice system and the recent events, the way the death sentences are being given, where in the society where the death sentences are given to satisfy the collective conscience of the societies, where these death sentences are given selectively, where the death sentences are given on the basis of class and the class you belong to. I think that we need to campaign for a system of justice which is reversible, not an irreversible system of justice. So, in 1960s, if you had punished Sheikh Abdullah in the Hazratbal murder case, if he had been, if death sentence had been given to Sheikh Abdullah in 1960s in the Hazratbal murder case, with whom you would have enacted the 1975 Accord. The 1975 Accord is the one which at least gave some semblance of peace to Kashmir between 75 and 80s. And in 1984, they hanged the Maqbool Bhatt. I am so sure that in 11th of February 1984, Maqbool Bhatt had not been hanged. In 89, Kashmir situation could have been salvaged. He could have been used and made an instrument to actually to salvage the situation in 89 and 90. And since then we have seen, because of this one death, 100,000 lives in Kashmir till today have been lost because of this one death. And quite recently now, in the case of this Afzal Guru, the way he was hanged to satisfy this collective conscience of the society, mostly the middle class society, which is now actually going again, which is now actually campaigning to give the death sentence, not even in the Tihar jail, but in the public to these rapists as well, without even trying them in the courts. This has created a situation in Kashmir. Maybe you can find a lull right now in Srinagar, in the streets of Srinagar, but who knows what happens in the next 2 or 3 years. We have seen the situation in between 84 and 89. The situation was building up in Kashmir. The kind of generation which was mostly our generation, we used to wear in the schools those days. The kind of the scar it had given to our generation, the same scar has been given to this generation by the hanging of this Afzal Guru. He was not a leader. Afzal Guru cannot be compared with Maqbool Bhatt. He is not a leader like the Maqbool. He was not a leader like the Maqbool Bhatt. But every Kashmiri sees a mirror in him. The crime which he had committed, every Kashmiri has committed this crime over the last 20 years. There cannot be a single family in Kashmir who has not given a protection to militants, who has not given them food, who has not given them shelter, who has not given them some kind of who has not actually been made to part some kind of a money with these militant organizations. The kind of crime he committed, because of which he had to face the gallows, almost every Kashmiri family has committed this crime. And in Kashmir they see him in Afzal Bhatt, he is a